What the heck? Bungie is sponsoring the KKK? Whoa! Find out how this turns out in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z! Well, fade away, sign, fade away. No, but seriously, we live in a timeline where Bungie might have indirectly funded the KKK. Oh, what an intro. Stop it. Let's get the actual shit going. Let's get it. Let's get this one? No. Let's do this one. This is great. Yeah, the Taken King. Let's do this. Bungie, the Taken King. Let's just do it. The comment of the day. Let's get into it. We got to get to it, right? Yeah, let's do it.
Comments of
Anyways,
Oh, there we go. Comment of the day is actually just this situation, which is kind of funny, right? We're talking about Bungie, so let's do it. So there's this interaction between DSR Joker and Big Box, which you can tell how this is going. You know, just a normie account with Bungie's marathon logo. So they're arguing about Destiny and all that stuff. You know, Steph Curry misses 60% of his 3-point shots. Multiple things can be true at once. Split focus has always been an issue at Bungie. By the way, people were the main argument was that Bungie's marathon was to blame for how Destiny 2 is going on, right? And so split has always been an issue at Bungie. How do you know about Halo 2's development? And to be clear, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but there's a pattern of behavior with Bungie management, Jason Jones specifically. And this guy replies, I don't know. They're one of the biggest, most successful MP-focused studios on Earth. And I'm not sure I can criticize LeBron James too much for missing a few shots. And so, you know me, I'm going to toot my horn. Bungie's not the most successful MP-focused studios on Earth. No successful company needs to sell itself for $3.6 billion in order to not shut down. Or the fact that they had massive layoffs after mismanaging money. Or the fact that Activision split from them, not seeing Destiny 2 as a success. Or the fact that Microsoft passed on buying Bungie again because they have a massive burn rate problem. If they were successful, they wouldn't be one of the most hated companies in the gaming industry. Destiny population is dead. Marathon is drying quicker than most multiplayer games. Bungie has missed more than a few shots. And this guy's like learn to read. Okay, so I said not even learn to read the reasons why. Yes, not everything I said is still true. It's not even one of the best or most successful multiplayer. Maybe back in Halo they were, but they're not successful by any standard of financial success or even in like popularity. Bungie's not successful. And then they lose any kind of argument, you won. You won the argument. This is my favorite meme. Yep, ironic because still waiting for a logical argument from the inbred high school dropout on one of the most worst MP studios in the game. You dumb bitch. Well, we're waiting, and we never got a call back. We're waiting. Anyways, you gotta love the Bungie community because they're just, well, you never go full retard. Now, talk about not going full retard. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm gonna fast track. This post has been making its way. Grums, by the way, take what Grums says with a grain of salt. There are certain, like I talk about marathon bot accounts. Grums is another account you take what they say with a grain of salt, right? You just if you want any kind of fair, thought process, take a grain of salt. Just emphasize that. So, Grums is posting, Bungie is in trouble. So, at Bungie, it is the biggest game company supporting the just indicated Southern Poverty Law Center. Now, if you're like me, you're like, huh? Who is the Southern Poverty Law Center? Well, I did the work for you. The Southern Poverty Law Center is a Montgomery, Alabama-based nonprofit founded in 1971 by civil rights lawyer Morris Dees and others. Okay? It originally focused on litigation to combat racial discrimination, poverty, and white supremacy violence, successfully suing the Ku Klux Klan in high-profile cases. Which, Grums points out, the SPLC is accused of defrauding donors by directly funding leaders of these hate groups, including them. Which is true. By the way, this part right here, this part is very much true. If you look here, it says what is happening right now as of April 2022. The big breaking news is a federal criminal indictment handed down yesterday, 21st, in Alabama. The U.S. Department of Justice under the current Trump administration charged the SPLC with nearly a dozen felony counts, including bank fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. From roughly 2014 to 2013, the SPLC raised millions from donors by promising to dismantle extremism and white supremacy, but secretly spent over $3 million paying leaders and members of violent extreme groups, the KKK, the National Socialist Party of America / neo-Nazis. So that checks out. So how was Bungie play a part in this? We're still waiting, right? How is Bungie supporting the KKK indirectly or directly? That's the argument, right? They set up elaborate shell corporations to funnel the money. The FBI alleges funds were used to create more hate crimes. You can figure out the scam from here. Raise money to fight hate groups, fund hate groups to create real crime, use crime as evidence to raise more money. Okay? The SPLC was the real hate organization all along. Okay? Most people are like, okay, this sounds like you did your research. Okay. What about Bungie? Bungie was the loudest, most vocal supporter of the SPLC, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, for the group. Direct financial grants to the SPLC, annual Black BLM Be Heard player event to sell pins to fund the SPLC, charity events and streams to raise money for the SPLC via the Bungie Foundation, and games to give campaigns that also supported SPLC. Bungie has some explaining to do. The SPLC was a classic shakedown organization that painted groups as hate groups and forced their way into all the safety teams of major social media, including old Twitter. This gave them power to advise who got deplatformed, who got deboosted, and who got banned, and help set speech policies. This is who Bungie was supporting. This is who they fell for. Bungie must immediately and publicly cut ties to the SPLC. First off, let's just get something straight. I know I'm about to defend Bungie, and this is really gonna turn heads. I don't think personally that Bungie is guilty of like the fraud. I think they're the ones that got canoodled. I think they got scammed. They got played, which is funny on its own. That alone is fucking funny. That Bungie supported this group and got played. That sounds like the most Bungie thing ever. And it's funny because Bungie be taking these L's left and right. But I don't like. The FBI generally will do their investigation, and if they do come out and say here's hardcore evidence to link Bungie with fraud and intentionally knowing that the Ku Klux Klan was like being donated to and all these, I think Bungie was probably going to be as surprised as everyone else finding out this news, because this is relatively new news, which I'm going to say, like, these are allegations. It's a grain of salt you got to take. And I also did my own little, extra research, right? Now, again, I'm also going to say this is a grain of salt because the AI is not perfect. It doesn't grab every little information, and there's new information that might come out. But I did try fact-checking the statement using Grok, and this is what it has to say about it. The statement is false / exaggerated and misleading. Bungie, via its nonprofit Bungie Foundation, has publicly supported the Southern Poverty Law Center in limited ways, primarily through annual Black History, which through the pins and whatnot. Okay, so they have donated campaigns, at least one small documented grant. So if there's more documentation, that should be pretty easy to point that out. But right now it's showing one documented grant, but there is no evidence that they were the loudest, most vocal supports of the SPLC overall, nor that they raised anywhere near hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, for the group. So that statement kind of debunked, right? Bungie has actually done the BHM campaigns. They donated almost 20K, not millions. Other mentions, the SPLC is occasionally listed as an additional partner in Bungie's foundation's larger Game to Give charity, which does look bad for Bungie, and it does look bad for their image. But it's, again, it's like guilty by association, not guilty because their hand is in a cookie jar. Now, the FBI will absolutely put Bungie on blast if they did have their hand in the cookie jar, and I will be there making 5 videos, calling out Bungie and crucifying them. But for now, I think I'm always going to give fair shake about things like this, especially when it's not like let's be honest, Bungie loves lying and deceiving and scamming people, but it's usually in their games, not outside the game. Let's be honest. Bungie's not innocent at all. But in this kind of situation, it's fresh. There's a lot of information that's coming out. I'm willing to give benefit of the doubt that it wasn't, them intentionally trying to scam people. I think they just got played, which is still funny, and you could definitely still meme on them for that because, I did. I memed on them. I can't believe this is a GIF now, and I love it. I love that this is a fucking GIF. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, you can meme on it. It's still funny that they indirectly or unintentionally supported giving money to, the KKK and neo-Nazis. That's kind of fucking funny. But overall, I do feel like you've got to be fair with these situations. You got to let things play out. Let the officials do their due diligence. By the way, but primarily for Foundation's own programs like hospital entertainment, not the PLC, small community streams have also directed tiny amounts. One raised $220. Whoa, that's a lot. Holy shit, they're really out here scamming. Bungie's Foundation tax filing via ProPublica reports grants in the low millions annually in aggregated, but do not break out large SPLC specific amounts beyond the 70K noted in third-party grant trackers. So that's pretty important. That right there is pretty important. Like 70K is nothing to scoff at. Like that's still people's money that may have went somewhere where they didn't want it to go, which is why personally I don't donate to any charities when it comes to like video game companies. Like Call of Duty never donated. If I was going to donate to veterans, I would actually directly donate to the my local veterans, right? I would same thing with Bungie Foundation. I'm not going to donate to your foundation. I donate to my own research approved and I feel safe, my local charity. I'm going to give it to them, right? That's just me. You can do what you want, but I'm just saying I just don't trust people. Like I don't trust most charities because shit like this. Not to say that Bungie's foundation is a scam. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. SPLC is a scam, apparently. Allegedly, they're indicted. So we'll see how that plays out in the court of law. Why the statement doesn't hold up. No evidence of large-scale fundraising for this SPLC. Not the loudest, most vocal supporter. This is subjective and unsupported. Bungie promotes the SPLC within its gaming community, especially Destiny 2 fans, but there is zero indication it stands out as the top or most prominent backer nationally among corporations or even among game companies. The SPLC receives fundings from far larger donors and organizations. Some online critics have singled out Bungie as notable in gaming, but that's opinion, not facts. Oh, and he got freaking tagged too. Damn. Grok is already calling out fucking Grums. In short, Bungie has done some visible community-focused support for this SPLC, mostly small scale and recent, but the claim dramatically inflates both the volume of the money and the prominence of their role. This statement appears to come from partisan criticisms rather than verifiable data. Moral of the story, just let things play out. I think you can meme on it. It's funny. Bungie deserves it. You know, it's still, they're a shitty company, so you should absolutely make fun of them because it's still funny. But can you rightfully say that they're scamming people, that they knew about this? Bungie has some explaining to do? No, they don't. Not right now, unless they're really guilty. Let the FBI do their job. But like, again, to assume that this is, but like this is all intentional, like there's some, I don't know, I want to say diabolical scheme going on. Listen, I'm not one to ever defend Bungie unless it's necessary, and I feel like in this situation we gotta wait to see. Like, I'm a fair guy. Bungie does enough shit as it is to get called out very easily. It's easy to call them out. This is not one of those. You can make fun of it and meme on it, totally, but to sit there and attack them and say, hey, you guys are a piece of shit. Actually, you know, the only time I've would ever attack Bungie for, you know, any of the shit was when they did the Latinx bullshit. Yeah, fuck them, you racist white American pigs. You racist piece of shit. You cultural appropriating. That's my culture, bitch. We don't have Latinx in our language. I say that as if I speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I need to learn. Or maybe I should, you know, learn. Never mind. Yeah, I should learn Spanish so I could start swearing in Spanish and say some shit that only half the population will understand. Well, every other white person be like, what is he saying? What is he saying about Bungie in Spanish? We don't know. Nah. Anyways, outside of that, like, there's moments they do stupid shit like that where you can absolutely call them out, but like, I don't think this is one of them. It's funny. You can meme on it. Do that. But I would have to wait out and see what actual information comes out. Like, this is not Bungie's job to explain this shit. It's the FBI's. Like, the SPLC, I don't know, man. I think it's a reach. But yes, please meme on it. Bungie definitely doesn't deserve to be in the business anymore. They died when they sold Halo. The only bangers they had was Klux. Wait, the only banger they had was Klux, the Destiny game supporting the Ku Klux Klan. What is wrong with you? Again, I think this is going too far. I think it's going too far. I do. Let's see, I'm blocked, but did they mention anything? No, I doubt they. I figured they wouldn't. What about Bungie? Nope, they haven't said anything. It's funny, DMG blocked me on all the socials because he's a bitch, and I wonder why. I'm at this point, I'm just an asshole to him. He deserves it, but I just have one question. Why were okay? How the fuck is Bungie supposed to know that SPLC was committing fraud? What is it? What isn't the important part of doing fraud? Hoping no one knows and finds out about it. Again, that's why listen. I'm a fair guy. I think Bungie got scammed, which is still fucking funny. You know, Mark, I hope you get sued with whatever money you have remaining. I want you to post any evidence that Bungie knew about the SPLC was doing. Please enlighten us. Show us the evidence. If not, I hope you get sued. Yeah, Bungie could threaten, but I don't think they wouldn't get sued for shit. They wouldn't. It would be a waste of time in the court. They would, especially with what he said. Like, he's not. It's very vague posting. I knew what he was trying to imply, but this shit wouldn't hold up in the court of law. You know, Mark. Okay. Imagine having a goodwill for Bungie or being good faith towards them. Mark, when you eventually get sued by the people you've spent years scamming, I'm going to root for them and celebrate. According to your stupid logic, anyone associated you in any way is also guilty of scamming people with your so-called video game. I don't know nothing about this video game situation, so I'm just going to skip anything calling him out on his video game. So Bungie sponsors the KKK and Nazi Party of America? Indirectly, yes. Tactically, indirectly, they have sponsored the KKK and the Nazi Party of America. Yes, this is a factual statement that They donated some amount of money, which it probably was given to them indirectly. So why they started pushing their BLM and other woke. Again, guys, you're making it sound like they did a scam. I don't think it's that way. I don't know how you blame Bungie for the SPLC nonsense. I'm not a fan how they push left nonsense on us, but this is on par with their ambition to virtue signal. I'm not shocked at all, just another thing to be annoyed about. So I'm glad I'd never bought a single one of their games or ever supported them. Damn. Not surprised considering how shitty they make their games. By the way, again, I told you. I fucking told you. Bungie has, if you look at the wider gaming audience, Bungie has a bad reputation. People absolutely, look how many times they've had to do layoffs over the years. Yes, the most successful multiplayer studio. Yep. Sure. Okay, fine, I'll buy Marathon now that I know my money's going to... Oh, no! I just had such a dark. I have some dark humor. Bungie, I know how you can get more sales now. Just sell the KKK hood as a thing for your runner. People will love it. Give them a hood and Marathon and they'll buy the game. Oh, shit. That's messed up. Yeah, I'm tired of the Bungie slander, so I'm just going to say this and see this and leave. And that go touch grass once in your miserable lives. If you don't like a game, that's fine, but you don't have to bash your opinion. That's all the game needs to die. Gamers are always meant to be fun. Dude, suck Bungie's dick somewhere else. By the way, you could have just said your shit is like slander and call it that, but like you said it in a way that you're like upset that people are you know, calling out Bungie or saying things about Bungie. Like the $1 billion company is not going to suck your dick. You could have just simply said, yeah, you're just spewing some bullshit or you're insinuating some bullshit. And you might have, you know, you've been okay. I'm no longer asking, take your fucking meds. Yeah. Who could have seen this coming? A political hate group donating to competing hate groups to give themselves more ammunition? Shocking. And yes, they also invited, I don't know any of this shit. Let's just go see what the actual like replies are. See any content creators. Oh, well, I'm not surprised. Smash JT. Bungie sponsoring groups backing the KK was not my bingo card. I mean, at this point, it probably should have been, but it is still really fucking funny. Unintentionally sponsoring groups backing the KKK. That is fucking funny. Turns out while people were out there fighting racism, hate crimes, Bungie was just farming it for petty cash. Okay, this is not, again, no, you can make this joke, but this is not, like, come on. Perverse incentive, make themselves more necessary by making hate groups more prominent. These people are evil. Yeah, I hope the people that actually are scamming, the SPLC people get what they deserve. Game companies supporting hate. What about talking about this? Any comment, Bungie? If we get fooled again by prom reaction solution. If this shit, as Grums described it, these organizations deserve to be burned to the ground. I fucking call it money laundering using phony bullshit virtue signaling. I hope they're not talking about Bungie. Again, we have to let FBI do its job. I'm not saying that Bungie is free of all like claims, but I do feel like you should be fair and let people, like, the law is involved. They are going to do investigations, and if nothing's found, then like, let's stop trying to pan people as guilty. Like, it really is annoying. They allegedly paid for the propaganda push that they used to cram DI and woke nonsense down your throat through TV and video games to own the chuds. But knowing that this admin has done nothing to tackle the radical judge issue, I don't expect much. Okay, whatever. Bungie, once again, there's me. I'm telling you that all the money Bungie was raising for charity end up in money laundering and fraud. Again, not everything that Bungie has raised went to the SPLC. You are not Bungie, you're not the Bungie, you're just sick people using your name. Bungie in this shit, no matter what day you read this. All they had to do was make Halo and make good video games. Instead, they made Destiny and DE slop. Again, people saw Destiny as like overly popular, successful. I think that there's some copium in there. Destiny was a great game. I love Destiny and Destiny 2, but like, I think people over exaggerate how popular it was, especially after its momentum was killed right here. Like after it launched, the momentum just dived. It had the potential to be one of the most popular, games out there, but Bungie neutered it before it even had a chance. And then Forsaken had the opportunity, and then, as you could see, it just declined. Essentially, after they removed paid content is when they really shot the game into oblivion. Huh? Brother, it got worse. Bungie is cooked. They must apologize to other gamers. Ah, the not net and how you play book, I see. Biggest reach I've seen. Why were you guys so strong supporters of SPLC? You have some explaining to do. Why is this who the fuck is this person? Why they have me blocked? No way, Bungie. Bungie needs to apologize for getting scammed. Well. What do we have here? Looks like Bungie will be in legal trouble. Will they? That's going to leave a mark. Holy moly. Anyways, I think we've talked enough about it. If more information comes out that actually links Bungie, or Bungie makes an official statement, I'll react to it. At this point, I hate that, I don't defend Bungie, but I do believe in being fair. Meme on them, absolutely make fun of the situation, meme on it, make a joke out of, get your popcorn out. But at the same time, let's be real. Especially if this is like Capcom, I would be pissed that people would be attacking Capcom. Not to say that Bungie is as good as Capcom, because they're not. Bungie sucks dick. They're a shitty company. Capcom's literally pulling out their big dick and slapping Bungie in the face of how successful they are. But I'm just saying, in an example, I would be fair with Capcom. So I'm going to be fair with Bungie. That's me. You could choose to believe what you want. I'm not going to tell you, but I do believe in, not following suit with some exaggerations. Unless people can make a supportive list, evidence-based, like here is all the money that they've raised, millions of dollars. Okay, give me a track sheet of that and where I can find it. And then I'll be okay with supporting some of these allegations. But right now, it seems like it's misleading and exaggerated, which from what I've heard people have said about Grums seems on par. I'm Mr. Game Counselor. I'll see you next one. As always, game out. Huzzah.